people have reduced. What happened? Why am I suffering with this thing? Okay, whoever was on this side, please go back. Why are you migrating? I can see the connections connecting, but no. Not yet. Should we have time for connecting after? Yes, the swimming pool is there chilling, waiting for us. But anyway, so which group would like to go first? Guru. Okay, now I'm going to choose. We have, but there were 7 parties, so I don't know. I'm going to, you're prepared? So, wait. Patience. All groups are prepared. So, you will go first, you will go second, you will go third, you will go fourth, and you will go last because you are the last to finish. Okay? So in that order, the food was so good, people have forgotten their shoes. Jesus Christ. Lost and found property? Hey, these conversations don't come every day, so when you have a moment, you make good use of it. So, group number 1, please come up and give us your presentation. Sorry, 5 minutes for presentation.
Good afternoon, colleagues. Yeah. This afternoon, we are here to evaluate how or to what extent my group has understood today's theme. And to do this, we have been given question, understanding gender-based violence risks and leadership gaps. 1, I need to remind the colleagues about gender-based violence. We say that gender-based violence are harmful acts that affects an individual in the following ways: sexual harassments, bad touches, psychological violence, economic violence, over-control, mention it. When we go to leadership gaps, 1, we have leaders. The first leaders are the parents, teachers, religious leaders, cultural leaders, and political leaders, community leaders. Those are the leaders. Now, once there is a gap or a failure in the leadership of those groups or categories, then we are going to have leadership gap in gender-based violence. And once we have a gap or a failure, we are going to exhibit the following results or outcomes. 1, school dropouts. Why school dropouts? Because the community has not done its work. The school, the senior woman, senior teacher, and administration have not done their work, more so of counseling. This is why we have school dropouts and even parents. 2, as a result of those above-mentioned gaps, we shall have increased drug abuse. I think you bear with me. So, everybody, parents, teachers, community leaders, political leaders, religious leaders, and cultural leaders is responsible to curbing down drug abuse, which is causing a lot of gender-based violence. They have given me 5 minutes, that's why I'm brief and precise. Another outcome is homosexuality and its opposite. Why? Because of moral decay. One time, I visited a friend who had been put to jail because of rape. I asked him, why did you do this kind of thing? He said, you know, that lady sits poorly, the way she dresses, so that one induced me to raping her. But I've been to the other side of Moroto some time back, some 25 years. During that time, sorry to mention, putting on crosses was not very familiar with those people. But when I asked one elder that, do you experience a lot of rapes here? He said, no. I said, why? He said, here, if you're a man, before men, and then you erect your manhood, you are given punishment for being immoral. So I'm trying to emphasize the point of moral decay. When there is moral decay and reduction in cultural values, then we are going to experience sexual immorality, leading to homosexuality and the rest of it. So you can see the relevance of cultural leaders. You can see the relevance of religious leaders, teachers, and parents in curbing down this vice. It brings me to another point of unwanted pregnancy. Why unwanted pregnancy? One, if people start playing sex outside the values and intentions of sex before God, then we are going to have unwanted pregnancy. And out of unwanted pregnancy, I know some people are shying out, abortion. If you put up 10 ladies and then you ask them, among you who has never practiced this, you can have 2 to 3. So there is a lot to be done. Sorry if I've offended, but then committing suicide. Some people commit suicide. Why? Because there is a failure somewhere in the gaps, in the checks and balances. Parents have not done their work of counseling and talking to these young boys and girls. Then I think time is against me. Let me conclude. Then we also looked at the limit. 1, sensitization, counseling and guidance, enforcing the laws, reporting cases, and then supporting victims. Proper supervision of administrative areas of influence, clear institutional policy, empowering the stakeholders, senior women, men, mothers, and children themselves, building trust amongst ourselves and our children, then having talking compounds in schools, then being exemplary. If you're a teacher, you say, I don't want bad touches. Then during the break, you go to the madam and then you start doing this before kids. Then we are not going to curb it down. Then printing more textbooks I know we have the probation officers and the rest. The literature we have in schools does not empower us to do this. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much for the deliberations. We are going to ask questions to the groups. This is the rapporteur who was just wrapping up what was discussed by the group, okay? So in the event that you have any questions, you're addressing your questions to the group. And on that note, do you have a question? Kindly pass a microphone to the gentleman. No, we will respect the rules of the House.
Mine wasn't actually, I will not call it a question, but an inquiry. I think he has confused the many of us, including me. The question talks about a relationship between the GBV, risks, and the leadership gaps. So he has been giving one-sided points and speaking more about them than relating them to the leadership in.
Thank you very much for that observation. Does missions.
Thank you so much. I would like to appreciate the presenter because he was presenting what came from the group. And as we grow up, all answers are correct. In addition to that, one of the leadership gap I observed, he was mentioning about the literature. As we, in our generation, what we have studied today, there should be literature about it, but the community is not aware. Among the literature, we should have the acts. If it is a land act, let the community know that it is a land act. I've learned that sports has an act. That is the Sports Act. But we in the community, we the educators, we don't have it. For example, the Education Act, teachers are aware, but the policemen may not be aware. So if the acts are there, let the government print more literature so that the community is aware. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the, unfortunately, you didn't tell us your name because this is a networking session as well. So when you get up to speak, please tell us your name.
By the names, Namtiabe Elizabeth, Deputy Chair Secretary Bugonga, by the grace of God. I'm also a cultural leader, Secretary Mtubeta No, Buganda Kingdom, that is Division B.
Thank you very much. Now I know your name and I know where you come from. I may not be able to look through the entire list, but such forums help us to know each other and to remember the name. When you speak in these conversations about yourself, it helps most people to understand where you're coming from and what your role is in the community. So thank you for that. Ms. Namblondo, are you supporting your group or you have a question to ask? You have the microphone.
Okay, thank you so much, Chairperson. Thank the rapporteur for the submissions. Just asking, having a question in mind, how can we boldly build trust in institutions or communities or in different areas for the people who are violated to feel safe that I personally, I can come and report to this one or the other person and I feel safe that I have trust in that person. I can be helped. How?
It was not your question. You wait for your opportunity. Were you in that group? Were you in that group? So you wait for your group. This group is being asked, are you a part of this group? I want this group to respond because they're the ones who have presented. You want to verify something? Can we just have a response to this, to her question before you verify? Kindly give him the microphone.
The answer is very simple. You know, fear is the cause of everything. Once you don't have fear, you can withstand everything in this world. So when you fear to lose a job or not get it, then you are going to be intimidated. Just eradicate fear out of you. Stand broad. Either you get or not, but stay on your values. Thank you.
Damali, I hope that has been clarified. But I think just to add to him, the issue is around the integrity in the system. I think that is the question you want to raise, that how do I then, as an athlete or a child, stand up to an elder and build trust with them? It begins with the value system. And we can all agree that the value system is broken down. That's why we're having these conversations. That I cannot trust the person. For example, if it is my coach, I cannot trust them to be able to stand up to them and put my fears to them. So the question is, how then do we build that trust? And you have the answers. It is just that the response to the answers is different. So it is not taking the fear, because fear is already there. Now, how do we remove that fear? By being exemplary, by leading by example, by having integrity as leaders, by being respectful of the spaces within which we lead, by having discipline as adults, as leaders. There are so many ways. By being passionate with what we do. It's so many things that come together for you to build that trust with, especially young athletes that we work with, the young people who are in our care. So you had all the answers, Sir from Naweru. You had all the answers, but it's just how to define those answers to say. For example, I'll take rugby as an example. How have we been able to build a value system where our children feel safe to come and tell us when something is going wrong? It is, we rely on the core values of rugby that I've just mentioned to ensure that when you preach these values to the children, then they understand and appreciate them. And then they know that you've created a safe environment for them, that then they are able to come to you and say, Coach, ono yangu tewano, this person did this and that. But the truth of the matter is, that, like you've said, the fear is the beginning of all the evil. Because within that fear is when you're silenced. You have an issue, then someone says, toyogeda. Or utayogeda is the cause of why we're having these conversations. We want to say, can we allow ourselves to speak up about these issues openly and honestly? This space is for open and honest conversations about gender-based violence in our schools and communities. I've spent 5 minutes. Somebody has their hand up. Are you adding to this conversation? But before you do, somebody had his hand up. I am very, very sorry, sir, but please seek your verification.
Thank you very much. I'm by the name Lokech David Mark, and I'm a teacher. So the speaker of the first group was talking about, I come from Karamoja. That's why I had to stand up when he talked of Moroto. 25 years ago, most of us never used to put on clothes. I would like to inform you that nowadays the place is very developed, and please, you're welcome. We have more physical features. We have Mount Moroto, we have Kidepo National Game Park, we have very many physical features, and we are welcoming. Thank you very much.
I am not going to allow you to contend with that, because it's speaking from experience. You shared from your experience that so many years ago you're in Karamoja, and yes, people were not wearing clothes. Times have changed. Those days we used not to have PowerPoint presentations, but now when you enter a room, you want to have a computer on and you want to present your things using a PowerPoint presentation, right? So technology has moved, people have developed. Thank you very, very much for verifying and clarifying, because it's important that people understand that even Karamoja has developed, and because of that development, we are here to discuss a way forward and commit as leaders to see how best to address the issue of gender-based violence, okay? Next group was the Madam. Yeah. Oh, Madam, just a second. Somebody's hand was up, but you come as she puts her point across. Please come and join me here.
Thank you, Coach. My concern is we are looking at one person who has presented, and yet it was a group. So if we are bringing out our questions, it has to go to the group, not to a particular person.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that. You've heard people, so don't fire the person who has been sent to represent their group. Fire the whole group. You speak to the group, not the individual. This is a safe space.
Thank you so much. My group members, please come in front. Yes. I'm ASP Radkunda Edith, Community Liaisons Officer in Tebe, representing Group 2, who are here with me. For the sake of questions, we are here to answer as a team. I would like to first of all talk about GBV and the definition of GBV as a profound human rights violation rooted in inequality. And that is where we find socio-economic violence, physical violence, emotional violence, psychological violence, and emotional violence. It is not only found at schools, but also at workplace, in our homes, and elsewhere. Even here it is there, if you realize. Yeah. Back to the question, understanding GBV risks and leadership gaps. As Group B, we looked at emotional risks, that is harassment. For example, at school, you find us, the teachers, we are naming students by their shape. Look at her, Chilabe. So those are all risks of violence. At workplace, you find you want to embarrass your colleague in front of the clients, which is really very bad. I'll take an example as police, because that's where I am. You find you're the boss at police. I'm there handling clients, though a small woman down, but I'm doing the work. So instead of appreciating what I'm doing, you just minimize me in front of them, and they end up thinking, this one knows nothing, the other one knows something. I'll go on point 2, psychological risk, and I'll take it back to our families. For example, I've been hustling as a man, and I've come back with a Kavera. I find you home with your children seated. You don't even bother to greet or welcome me. I also dump it there and go my way. By the end of the day, children are seeing what is happening between mommy and daddy. They have already seen mommy can't greet daddy, and by the end of the day, they will carry it up to school. That's why you find at school, as most of us, we are teachers. At school, if you're in class, you realize a child who is from that family that has violence is different from the other child when you look at them. Then we have also seen digital and emergency risks, e.g., online harassment. For example, the messages we send, those messages. You look at your friend, you send him or her a message. Look at your wife or your husband, send a message. For you, you may think you're hitting him, but the end result comes back to the innocent children at home. So that is all about violence. We have got also negative attitude to some activities, e.g. in sports, where you know that Iradukunda can learn faster and do this. But because of you despise Emerida. Emerida, you're useless. You cannot even pull the ball. You cannot do this. By the end of the day, Imelda will not come back to participate because she knows she cannot do it better than the other one. Strict to the readership gaps. And I will take it to all of us. We are all leaders. At home, where we work from, even here, we are all leaders. And there are very many gaps, starting from communication gaps. For example, in the family, where you find you, a mother, a father, you cannot talk to your children. There is already a problem. They will do what they want, you will do what you want, the man will do what he wants. By the end of the day, we shall see a family breakup. There is also lack of proper sensitizations. Like you have heard from previous speakers, we are here running this, but remember there are people we left behind who don't know what it even means, who even think life is as usual, who even think even after being beaten by a man or by a woman has beaten me as a man, I cannot go to police and report because they will laugh at me as a man. I cannot go to police and report assault. Instead, I'll go and say it was an accident. And it is there happening. Why? They are not exposed. They have never attended any workshop. They have never attended any sensitization to know that if you're done, if you've been beaten, report, come up and report. We have also seen limited resources. And this is, I think, I don't know whether it affects all of us, but to me as a person, to those who are here in the morning, you heard the story of Madame Dio. Limited resources. Yes, she did the work. She brought for me the suspect and the victims. But I had nothing to feed them. I had nothing to do. What I did was to look for who can help and cover the gap, and which is also supposed to be done by the government. If I had the resources, I would cover the gap. I will take care of them, and I will apprehend the suspect. But the resources are not there. They are limited. We have also seen corruption tendencies, which is a disease and is everywhere. So because of this, you feel I can do it, I can violate her rights, I can do all the abuses because I know I have my what? I have my money. Even if she goes to police, they will tell her go to doctor. And doctor will need what? Money for examination, which she doesn't have. So I continue doing bad things to her because I know she cannot move a step. We have also seen weak laws. The laws governing these cases of GBV, they are very weak in that even if you submit a file 3-4 times, it will still come back to you for further inquiries. And you ask yourselves, which further inquiries do they want me to complete? Those are the weak laws. If it was a strict law, direct, saying, Iradukunda, you have sexually harassed him, you must go for it, and it is direct. I think that would help us. We have also seen different religions. For example, when I look at Muslims as a religion, for example, when it comes for prayers and other things, they say, women decide, men decide. And that also affects us. We have also seen cultural differences or cultural norms and values. For example,
Time is up.
I saw my brother trying to defend his place.
Madam Edith.
Yes?
Your time is up. So we'll add you just 30 seconds.
Thank you so much. Then I go direct to how to address the gap. One, we have seen community engagement, stroke sensitization. Two, putting in place strong laws against GBV. Three, we have seen empowerment, that is empowering both readers, political, religious, and others. We have also seen training of professionals, e.g. doctors. We have seen continuous training on GBV and involving non-government organizations solving GBV problems. We conclude by saying it's our responsibility to end GBV by building relationships between different groups. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
Any
so much.
question?
Mr. Kagwa, please go back. These people have questions for all of you. Hey, you stay there.
Questions, please.
We have listened, and now it's time for you, the audience, to react and share some of your questions or suggestions.
Madam Regina.
Yes, please.
So on the issue of cultural influence,
You are cheating. Your time is up.
I'm not cheating. 1 minute, 1 minute.
No, no,
Here
no,
we
no.
have failed because we don't want conflict with cultural norms. Me, if I am a Muganda, and I'm a woman, together with my daughters, we are being told that we are not supposed to eat chicken, we are not supposed to eat eggs. So it is now for the man and his sons who are supposed to eat that. So now if I'm a woman and I start complaining about that, then I have conflicted with the cultural norms.
And you have a very good point. Thank you for the addition. Although you have failed the exam, you have gone above the time. So, anybody with questions to this group, or should we allow them to take their seats? Oh, there's a question.
Mine is not a question as such, but it is a reaction of appreciation to the officer for identifying the weaknesses of the law and the gaps. Thank you.
People, just hold on. Hold on. Madam, just stay there for me. Hey, people, enjoy the limelight. Okay, so there's another question. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Group 2. I'm a Kankwasa Gilbert from Nachiwogo. I'm happy that we have the Horizon officer. I'm not, the question is not for the whole group, but specifically it could be to the Horizon officer. We are looking at this violence where it is termed as rape, but in actual sense, we are seeing some girls on the street trying to rape men psychologically by walking half naked. Somebody walks half naked and entices the men to make a follow-up and think of what to do. Now, is there a law which attacks this girl who is walking naked on the street in case the men, because